number of regular webcasts throughout the year. This particular event is to see if this could become partly as an experiment to see who would show up.
I do. Welcome to our Live 5 interview with Alan Tse, author and illustrator of this year's Cyber Honor book, Drawing from Memory. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you for being with us. Now, I know from when you won the Caldecott Medal, and your then 10-year-old daughter wrote a profile of you.
13.
So she was 13 then? She wrote a profile of you for the Hornbook magazine.
Yes.
In which she revealed to all the world exactly how you felt about Hello Kitty stores. He said, I think we should blow these all up. So,
That's
Alan,
not what I said.
Yes, you did.
I wish that the place will burn to the ground.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I wish somebody would burn this place to the ground. Alan, how do you feel about Disneyland?
Same.
Have you been?
I was there when it first opened, and it almost went bankrupt. You know, they were having, I think it was in 1954, 55, and high schools in this area were having their proms there with very famous jazz musicians playing for them. For dance music. That's Disneyland I remember.
It's different.
And they built one in Tokyo, for which it's hard for me to figure the Japanese.
So we won't be seeing you across the street anytime soon in the park?
No.
Okay. Question 2. In Drawing from Memory, you discuss and describe your very unconventional own education. What did your education teach you about how children should be taught?
My masters. Americans have this conviction that whatever has to be learned in life can be learned in institutions. Well, I am fortunately of the generation when we wanted to learn a craft, we went out and sought out masters. But I was actually the last of the breed. I was a real brave man.
Do you think you could do for someone else what your master did for you?
No.
Because?
I didn't have the patience. Or the reliance to, I can't rely on somebody to do my work. I have an assistant now for the first time in my life, and that's my wife, and she's standing over there and grinning at me.
And what can she do? What do you let her do with your work?
She is a gifted potter, but she's also a gifted watercolorist. And she's done a lot of the backgrounds for me, for Drawing from Memory. Much of the time I was sick when I was working on that, so it was a great help.
Chris Roshko was just here, this year's Caldecott medalist, and he said he'd be happy to work in watercolor for the rest of his life. You too?
Well, yes. Although most of my youth was spent in learning how to paint with oils. And I felt most comfortable with that, but for book illustrations, I think watercolor is best for me.
What's the difference between a comic book and a picture book?
Comic book, of course, it takes on what I call a frame narrative. It's the one frame needs to be on there. Picture book it employs the same method, of course, but it's page to page. It's a larger comic book format. Comic books are told on these little framed pictures.
Several within one page.
Right.
Whereas a picture book is generally one image per page or per spread.
At the simplest level, yes, that's what I
Do you think that one is a more important art form than the other?
Oh no.
Well, because you grew up on one and now you create the other. That's why I'm asking.
It was an accident.
Okay. How has your perspective on your youth changed since The Ink Keeper's Apprentice, which was your previous autobiographical book?
How did it change my view of my childhood? It hasn't changed at all.
Because they're very different books.
Oh, yes, they are. I have changed.
I mean, there's liquor and loose women in the first book, and not in the second book.
Right, that's true. It's hard to do that in a picture. Right. I wanted to.
Maybe a comic book.
There was going to be nudity and all that. Well, there is nudity from memory, but it was going to be a bit worse. But I restrained myself. Actually, Andrea Pickman restrained me.
Keep it family friendly, she said.
No, she didn't say that.
Okay, we don't want to make Alan uncomfortable. I will give you, okay, not long to go. One more question. Can you handle it? What kind of art hangs in your house?
What kind of art? What?
Hangs in your house.
My house? Hardly any. And there is one piece. I'm too selfish and arrogant to hang anybody's work. It's mine, but probably 3 pieces. One of them is a photograph. And one piece hangs on my wall that was not done by me. It was Munakata, the great Japanese printmaker. And I'm very proud to have that.
What does it show us? What is the picture?
It was, I believe it was a book illustration. Do you know who Munakata was?
No.
He was one of those living national monuments in Japan. I consider him to be the greatest artist that Japan produced after the Second World War. Shiko Munakata was his name.
What's in the picture? What's the picture of?
It shows, I think, about 5 Portuguese padres walking. It was a book illustration. Great artist.
As are you?
Oh, no.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Roger. I think that's enough of this.
It is. We're done. We're done. I don't want to make this man uncomfortable. He's one of our great treasures, though. Thank you for being here, Alan. Thank you all for listening.